Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be persuading you why higher education should be free. Abraham Lincoln once said, "The best way to predict your future is to create it." Imagine getting a college degree without the burden of thousands of dollars of student debt. What if you could pick a career based off of what you love instead of taking the best paying job just to pay off debt? For many students, that future is out of reach, not because they don't have what it takes to succeed, but because they simply cannot afford it. Most of us are already on the first step towards higher education. While some of us plan to transfer to a four-year university, others hope to gain additional certificates or degrees. No matter what path we choose, we all have one thing in common. We want the opportunity to build a better future. Unfortunately, for many students, that future comes with an overwhelming price tag. As a student considering my own future, I've examined how college costs impact students nationwide. What I found is that millions of capable students either delay, limit, or completely give up on earning a degree because they cannot afford it. Many students don't drop out because they lack motivation or intelligence. They drop out because they run out of money. Today, I want to persuade you that higher education should be free because the rising cost of college creates unnecessary barriers, student debt harms graduates for years, and making higher education free would strengthen both individuals and society. Let's begin by looking at the problem. One of the biggest issues students are facing today is the rising cost of college. While community college tend to be less expensive than four-year colleges, many students still struggle to pay for tuition, books, transportation, housing, food, and other educational expenses. Even students who qualify for financial aid often discover that grants and scholarships don't cover everything. Their remaining costs can still add up to thousands of dollars every year. According to the College Board, public four-year colleges continue to raise the average annual tuition and fees, making a bachelor's degree more expensive each year. These rising costs mean that many students are forced to work long hours while attending school. Some students work late night or weekend shifts just to keep up with bills, leaving them with less time to study, sleep, or participate in campus activities. Some students take fewer classes each semester, delaying graduation, while others leave school altogether because they simply cannot afford to continue. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, financial challenges remain one of the biggest reasons students stop pursuing higher education. The cost of college doesn't just affect students while they're in school, it shapes their futures for years after graduation. Instead of focusing on learning and preparing for a career, many students spend their college years worrying about how they will pay their bills the next month. Another major problem contributing to the crisis of college tuition is student debt. Many students borrow money because they feel it's the only way to earn a degree. Loans can help students get to college, but they often leave graduates with years or even decades of debt. Americans owe more than 1.7 trillion in federal and private student loan debt, according to the Education Data Initiative. That's a huge financial burden carried by millions of people. Student debt just doesn't affect a person's bank account. It can delay buying a house, starting a family, saving for retirement, or even pursuing a dream career. Imagine graduating with a degree and immediately having hundreds of dollars in monthly loan payments before you've even found your first full-time job. That's the reality for many graduates today. Many graduates accept higher paying jobs instead of their dream careers simply because they need enough income to make their monthly loan payments. The burden of student debt impacts major financial decisions long after graduation, according to the Institute for College Access and Success. While these problems are serious, it's important to understand why so many students continue to face them. There are those who say students should just work harder or pay for college themselves. But if you believe that hard work is the answer, you might want to rethink that. Today's tuition costs have increased much faster than wages. Working a part-time job today simply doesn't cover college costs the way it may have decades ago. Many students work full-time jobs, have family responsibilities, and attend school, yet still cannot afford college. The fact is, this financial problem cannot be solved through determination alone. Once we understand the barriers students face, we can begin looking at solutions that would make higher education more accessible. So, how do we fix it? The answer many experts support is making higher education free or at least significantly more affordable through increased public funding. Many developed countries already provide free or low-cost college because they recognize that education benefits everyone, not just individual students. Several countries have established tuition-free or heavily subsidized systems of higher education while maintaining strong educational outcomes. If college were free, students could focus more on learning and less on worrying about debt. Instead of spending countless hours trying to earn enough money to pay tuition, students could devote more time to studying, internship, research opportunities, and gaining valuable experience that prepares them for their careers. It would also give more people an equal opportunity to succeed, regardless of their family's income. Education should be based on talent, determination, and hard work, not on somebody's ability to pay tuition. Free higher education would also benefit the economy. The Georgetown University Center on Education and the Workforce states that the vast majority of jobs in today's economy require education beyond high school. As more Americans earn degrees, they contribute to a more skilled workforce, increase productivity, and strengthen communities. Investing in education is not only investment in the economy, but also in society as a whole. According to the research by the American Association of Colleges and Universities, higher education helps students develop critical thinking, communication, leadership, and problem-solving skills that employers value across nearly every profession. These skills don't just prepare people for successful careers, they help create informed citizens, stronger communities, and future leaders. Lastly, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, people with bachelor's degrees experience lower unemployment rates and earn significantly higher wages than those who have only completed high school. When more people have access to higher education, businesses have access to qualified employees, communities become stronger, and the economy continues to grow. Our country already knows that higher education leads to better jobs and stronger workforce. Making it available to everyone is not just an investment in education, it's an investment into our future. Today, we've discussed how rising tuition creates barriers for students, how student debt impacts people's lives long after graduation, and how making higher education free would benefit individuals, communities, and the economy. Higher education should never be treated as a privilege reserved for only those who can afford it. Instead, it should be viewed as an investment into our nation's future. Every qualified student deserves the opportunity to pursue their dreams without carrying a lifetime of debt. I'll leave you with this thought. The next doctor who discovers a cure, the engineer who designs safer bridges, the teacher who inspires future generations, or the scientist who solves tomorrow's biggest challenges could be someone who never gets the chance because college was simply too expensive. If education has the power to improve lives, strengthen our economy, and create opportunities for future generations, then the real question isn't whether we can afford to make higher education free. It's whether we can afford not to.